Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great today. How are you doing?
Doing well, yeah. It's Music Week.
Music Week.
So, I'm Quan Tracy Cherry,
I'm Tavish Carduff.
and you can check us out at Ourrawmaterial YouTube channel, www.Ourrawmaterial, and the last one,
Instagram.
Ourrawmaterial.
Ourrawmaterial.
All right, so, and there's no S on there. Sometimes I forget, so just Ourrawmaterial. Well, as I said, this is Music Week, and Mentors was last week, and so that was emotional, and this week we're working through the spiritual aspect of our raw material. What are some of your memories around music?
Earliest memories around music. My family my dad owned a record store.
Okay.
And my mother had a habit, probably still does, of putting on music and rocking back and forth. Like we had to leave her alone when she was rocking. That's a real thing. And we respected it. If she was rocking, we left her alone and did whatever we needed to do. Different than a lot of people's musical memories. My family didn't have a lot of musical ability. In fact, none of us can really sing, and none of us play instruments, although my dad played a saxophone and a banjo here and there. He could tear it up a little.
My dad played the saxophone too.
Our dads
Yeah.
sometimes have the same energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
More and more.
Because we didn't have
More and more connections.
We did not have any personal training, and then being in the Kingdom Hall, it was you sung. I think all the songs were hymnal. I mean, really just.
No one ever asked us to join the choir.
No. There was
No,
no choir.
I'm just realizing, like, there was a choir and no one ever asked our family to join.
They said, no, we'll leave them out of it.
They had us be acolytes up next to them where they could keep an eye on us, I think. Episcopal Church, that's how they handled the Carduff family.
That does work on that level. And we didn't have that energy in the Kingdom Hall, so there was no asking because there was no choir. It wasn't a very entertaining.
No singing in the Kingdom Hall?
Yes, you sung at the beginning, sometimes in the middle, and then the end, but there were about 150 tunes, and they were pretty, from what I remember, pretty
Did they
flat.
ever feel joyful?
No,
Aw.
no, I don't remember feeling any joy.
Church music for me, I didn't start going to church. I mean, that's just an interesting spiritual thing. I didn't start going to church, really, until I was probably 10 or 11, something like that. The Episcopal Church, and we probably spent 7 years really involved in the church, Saturn Cycle.
Okay.
Really involved, and it was more the community than anything. The music leaders and all of that were really like kind of cool. I just thought they were great. They all played guitar and they, kind of rock and roll seeming, and they were just open-minded and neat. Or at least that's how it seemed to me as a kid. I found out later they were not at all.
Oh,
But
I tell you.
I live in ideals. I love ideals.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked for me, and it was great when I didn't know the wholeness of
Everybody and everything.
everybody and everything.
Well, I just remember in high school that a number of my friends were in the music curriculum, and they played, piano and harp, and I didn't sing or have musical talent per se, but I loved being around them, just because their creativity and their spirit on one level, obsessed about getting notes right, but on another level, really they just flowed and had a certain energy about them I found really, really attractive.
Well, that's why music falls in the spiritual, because it is where we connect at the level with our emotions where they're not stirred up,
Yes.
like they are with our mentors. That can just raise your blood pressure immediately.
No doubt.
Emotion itself, obviously, is an emotion space, and our intentions can be based on emotion rather than based on matching up to values and ideals and intentions.
True that.
I guess that's redundant.
No, but it speaks to the fact that the spiritual side does illuminate where we might be stuck or attached, but it's less likely, if I heard you right, to make our egos become defensive, at least initially.
When you're listening to music.
When you listen to music, yeah.
And even if your ego is defensive, and you're listening to some, something that really, pump you up, angry music, Limp Bizkit break stuff. That's my, like, if I'm mad. And now I just imagine mad, like I'll imagine the song, and I just think it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But,
So are you more of a lyrics or music person?
100% lyrics. However, recently I've started listening to the way sounds are made. I don't know that I even separated instruments in my head for a very long time. Like, pull out the guitar, pull out the drums, play solos. I didn't care.
Oh no, I think this is where I'm really kind of it depends on the song. It depends on the singer. I know I have a love for singer-songwriters, so there's definitely a lyric side to me. You got one?
Hayes Carl.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him open for my favorite singer-songwriter, Todd Snyder.
Yes.
Todd plug. And last music week, I actually wrote a lyric Bible out of Todd's music, and that was really fun. I sent it to some friends that all like him. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the activity, exercise, if you want to go do that. Singer-songwriters, they put their heart out there. They put their story out there. They're living what they're singing, and it's real and it's true. And I think that's why it's easy to connect to if you enjoy singer-songwriters.
Yes, I do. I mean, and then I do get into music, particularly I like the extremes, the lower frequency bass, and then the higher frequency violin. So I kind of like that mix, and then horns, and accents. Little things.
I realize I have all those in there. I just never paid attention to them. So, like the Beatles, I'm as we mention every time, huge Beatles fan. All of the things that they did, and the Rolling Stones, to create different sounds, I'm just recognizing that. I heard it before. It's there in my head if I play the song, but I didn't think about what it took to do it. What it took to create it.
So you like the end result. Now you're looking at how did they get there?
I guess.
Okay.
Or looking at the music part.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew it, but it didn't grab me the way the lyrics did. Always.
Well, you were one of the first people that I met, that I came close to, that had a reverence for Bob Dylan and how much, you really liked him. And I was a little bit dismissive. But the beautiful thing about aging is that if you live long enough, hopefully, in wholeness and coexisting with others, you start to really pay attention to what other people are paying attention to without instant bias, So, and what is this 3-song spin that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I do a thing. You can do it with a Pandora station or just a regular radio station or whatever, but I do it with an actual iPod, and that has like thousands of songs on it, and I will put it on shuffle, and the first 3 songs that come up mean something to me for the day or for whatever question is in front of me. And they generally wind up being songs that really lift my spirit and make me enjoy my day and make me look at something in a better way than I was looking at it, and just seems really helpful. I've done that for a long time. But that was a little bit of the basis for Music Week, is tapping into where music does show up in your life, that it's supportive, that you don't even know it. And we were talking earlier about like a time where you would normally have a television in the background or nothing in the background while you're cooking or while you're doing whatever. Turn music on and listen to it. Actually pay attention to what is resonating through your body. Feel it. Move around with it. We dance all over our house all the time, and my kids, have grown up with it. They loved it when they were little. They hated it when we got older, and they're maybe coming back around to be willing to dance with me again. But there's nothing like moving stuck energy through music that makes you feel. Like it helps keep things so.
Hey, look, I just made a playlist called Working It Out, and it's it's got the typical some Janet
Jackson. We can work it out.
Yes, and it just And I couldn't go on my walks around the neighborhood without my earbuds in or listening to music. It's such an integral part. And then I've started to play it more at night instead of the television. Put on some music before when I'm ready to wind down. So I love music. I love music. Okay, that's OJ's, I believe. I find that I don't worry when people don't love music. Well, I don't worry. I really move from that. But it's important just to accept how pervasive music is in your life, I feel.
Well, I think that's probably a good place to pull from the OJs that you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people all over the world, join in. Start a love train.
I love it. Here at ORM, Love Train has begun. How about that?
We have our first circle tonight,
Right, yes.
which we will report back on, because right now it's still Mentors Week.
Uh-huh.
But we are, as always, mixing our mentor music metaphors because they're so entwined for both of us.
No doubt about it. But thank you for listening and joining us here at Ourrawmaterial.
We'll be back next week to talk about food and how we get nourished spiritually, mentally, physically, and what's the other one?
Emotional.
There we go.